guess what? You might be getting an inflation stimulus check of up to $1,050. If you live in California, Gavin Newsom and the gang over there have said that they're going to start passing out inflation stimulus. Now, I know that sounds like an oxymoronic type of concept, because stimulus is what got us into this situation in the first place with inflation. But let me tell you something. It's going to get even worse than just inflation for Californians and any other states, citizens of any other states that decide to pull this crap and pass out inflation stimulus. And here's the reason why. Of course, we've seen how more and more money thrown out there causes inflation, but we're also going to see higher taxation. Now, we're going to see that at the federal level. We just did the video yesterday showing you how you can remove yourself from a lot of taxation and avoid taxation legally. You're going to need, that's going to become more and more of an imperative as the federal government and state governments spend more and more money. Now, California doesn't have a printing press. The federal government can add some zeros, fictitious zeros, phantom zeros onto the back of a ledger, and boom, money created out of thin air. California can't do that. But where they get their money from is taxation. So on both scores, federal and state, you're going to be seeing your tax burden increase. Again, go back and watch the video we did yesterday. You got to watch it, because now has never been a more opportune or important time to legally reduce your tax burden. Use what's in that tax code to do it. So California has said, hey, we got $17 billion that we tax these citizens, and we want to spend that money. And part of what we're going to do is we're going to pass out these checks. Now, part of the reason why this is happening, it's conditioning. It's conditioning you for universal basic income. The government wants you to get very comfortable with getting money from them directly. And listen, there is a dilemma in this country right now. I went to Royal Farms. For some of you in the nation or in the world, you don't have Royal Farms. Basically what it is, it's a little fast food restaurant, convenience store, gas station. Okay, it does all those things. And typically, they have employed people who may have, disabilities or something like that, give them a job. Or people who, just don't have a skill level high enough just yet to get them a better job. Okay, so Royal Farms hires lower skilled workers. But I went in there today, and it's funny because I couldn't make the pump I was using, my card kept saying we need a chip on the card. The card had a chip. Anyway, I went inside. I'm glad I did, because when I went inside, I bought some other items, and I went to hand them to the guy so he can ring them up, and he instructed me to ring them up on the automated thing that's on the counter now. They don't ring it up anymore. You do it your damn self. And I've always had a problem with that, because I'm doing labor for the store, yet I'm not getting any discount. I don't like that. But that's the way it is. If I wanted my gas and my butterscotch crimpets, then, hey, buddy, you got to ring it up yourself. So I say that to say a lot of low-skilled jobs are going to be lost to automation. We've done videos about that in the past. We've said that 800 million jobs globally are going to be lost to automation, robotics, and AI by 2030. And that is starting to happen. All this stuff is not going to be a light switch, and you're waiting for, boom, we wake up on Wednesday, and all of a sudden the world has changed. The world is changing, okay? You are in the pot of water. It is coming up to a boil. And these checks are part and parcel of that. Believe you me, this is not by accident. Universal basic income has gotten a bad rap. People are calling it welfare, which it is, government payments. But we're entering a realm, an economic realm, in which a lot of jobs are going by the wayside, okay? Again, going to be replaced by automation, AI, robotics, and governments are at a loss as to what we're going to do. Everybody's not going to be a coder. And once you teach a robot or an AI how to code, then what? I cannot stress to you enough. I know I sound like a broken record, and that's fine. You got to start yourself a business, and you got to start stacking assets, okay? And if you're already doing that, then if you have a business, then you need to figure out a complementary business or a way to make that existing business more profitable so you can generate more money and you can buy more assets, hard assets, real estate, commodities, like gold, silver. Things are going to hold their value. Things that you may be able to borrow against, so that, sidestepping a tax obligation because you're not paying taxes on loan proceeds. These are the concepts you need to start really, really thinking about as this world evolves economically, politically, socially, and otherwise. Okay, this is happening, folks. I have a friend, good guy. He doesn't want to hear it. He's just so resistant to these things that are occurring. Okay. Um, and he's an older gentleman who is kind of set in his ways. I want to pray that I never become like that, because if I do, then I'm in danger of becoming obsolete, a relic, a dinosaur, and I don't want that to happen. Um, so just know that the government and companies, you're going to start to see corporations actually chipping in to pay a portion of universal basic incomes, because they're going to still want you to consume, okay? They're going to still want the most conspicuous consumers, typically people who are in the middle class or around the poverty line. They still want those conspicuous consumers to consume, okay? So there we have it. How do you deal with this? Well, you got to avoid taxation to the highest degree possible. Now, there are some taxes you're not going to be able to avoid. You're not avoiding sales taxes, okay? We have a 6% sales tax here in Maryland. Bought this beer. I bought several of them. It was taxed. In fact, I think the tax on alcohol in this state is a little higher than 6%. I got to check on that. But there are all kinds of taxes that you're not going to be able to avoid. So you've got to look at those taxes and those aspects of the tax code that do allow you to lower that tax burden. And then you take all those savings, you pump it into assets, okay? Because you don't want to be on the government dole. The last thing I'm going to say about this is they've already proven, governments around the world and right here in the United States of America, if they've got economic control over you, if they can tell you how much you make, or if they're giving you this stipend, I'm sure they're not giving out this 1,050 without any strings attached over in California, because that's part of the conditioning. Okay, so that's all for now. I bought this beer. This is a Guinness Blonde, brewed in Baltimore. Now, I asked my buddy how this tastes, because this is all the liquor store had, and he said it was good. I'm reading a crisp golden beer, citrusy with a refreshing finish. I told him if I don't like this beer, I will buy a truckload of them, and then I will drown him in this beer. So let me check. He was right. It's damn good. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.